You can buy from a breeder if they're licensed and you're licensed. Some birds you catch from the wild, like the red tail is caught from the wild. When you first get it, of course, the bird doesn't want to even come near you or sit near you. It's a wild animal. And so when you catch it, you put the jesses on, the anklets on, and then you take it out of the trap and you take it home and you start working with the bird. When you first tie it to your glove, it just falls off the glove and looks at you, and its hackles are raised, and it's wondering, why do you have me tied to your glove? So you have to spend the next 24 hours really trying to get that bird used to you. It's a process called manning, and you're just getting the bird used to man. Lawnmowers, vehicles, children, dogs, whatever. The bird will learn that you're not there to hurt it eventually. Finally, it'll stand on your glove, but maybe you go to scratch your face or something, and it'll fall off the glove because it's nervous. What you want to do is keep that bird on the glove until the bird finally decides it has to sleep. Since it was born, when it gets dark, automatically, inside its mind, it says, go to sleep. So it lifts a foot, tucks the head behind its wing, goes to sleep. All of a sudden, now it's light where you're sitting, and it's after dark, and it's not asleep. But that desire inside the sleep is heavy and strong. So you want that bird to get over the fear of you to sleep. So it'll finally, it can't take it anymore, it'll finally tuck its head behind its wing and go to sleep on your glove. And when you do that, it realizes you're not going to hurt it. It's got an old term called waking. They used to do it years and years ago. And then the training really picks up. It'll get to where the bird will feed on the glove. It'll eat on the glove, and then it'll get to where it'll jump to the glove for food. And then the process keeps going to where you can whistle, and a bird will fly across the room to you. Finally, you go outside, you fly on a long line called a crance line or a leash line. And all this time, when you first get this bird, you're weighing the bird. So you fly a bird of prey according to their weight. That's one of the things I enjoy about falconry. They retain their wildness. I've had that bird there for 10 years. If I take that bird out to flight and it's heavy, I didn't weigh it, it's not in a hunting weight if it's really fat. And I say, wow, I've had it for 10 years, naturally I wouldn't lose it. I'll take it out and let it go and hunt it. See ya. I'll never see that bird again. It'll hit the horizon. It does not love me, doesn't care for me, it uses me to flush game for it. I like that independence. When you get home from work and you have a dog, you don't think about, will my dog come to me, did I feed him or not? He comes because he's glad to see you. A bird of prey is not that way. There's no affection. So it's not good for most ladies because they want to snuggle and, pet. The hawk doesn't want to be petted. Feed me, let me kill something, or leave me alone. Like some hunters, you know how it is, So that's how normally you train them and work with them. Once you find a weight, that bird will fly to you instantly outside 3 times on a line. You found what's called a flying weight. And that's the weight you're going to fly that bird at. To hunt the bird, you're going to have to adjust that weighting a little bit more. If you hunt a bird at a flying weight, they may chase game, but as they get close, they'll check off like they're just toying around with it. You adjust that weight a little bit more, they're a little bit more hungry. Next time you flush game, they'll grab it. Then you found a hunting weight. And so that's what you have to fly the bird according to a scale. I have a scale that weighs in grams and ounces. And it's really not that difficult. It sounds hard. Once you learn what the bird loses and how much to feed it and all that, I can almost go out even on a small bird like a kestrel, which I fly right at 100 grams. I actually fly to tenths of grams, like 100.1. And my wife could say to me, what do you think the kestrel weighs? And I could say, let's see, I fed a fish yesterday and the day before. It was in the 20s last night. She weighs 99.7. I put her on the scale, 99.7. My mind almost tell me what she's going to weigh because I've done it enough and I know that bird, what it loses, what it gains. But you always trust your scale because there's been times I take my red tail out when it flies right at 50 ounces. And I say, well, she flies at 50. She's probably near 50. I don't need to wear her. And in the back of my mind, the good falconer says, well, you better wear her just in case. Yeah, I better. I put her on the scale, 55. Ooh. If I'd have took her out, I could have got her back. Then again, see ya. People ask me, have you ever lost a bird? First bird I ever trained. Took a month to train it. Let it go, went up the tree line, looked at the birds I was going to flush, looked at the horizon. See ya. Never saw it again. So I learned my lesson, make sure the weight is proper and right. So you're dealing with a wild animal that you have trained. At the same time, to take a bird of prey from the wild and let it go, you finally have to come to the place in that training where you let that bird totally free. You have to let it off the leash, and it can head for another state. And when you let it go, it flies up the tree. You got to think, did I do everything right? And to go through and hunt or to whistle, and that bird flies all the way back to you and lands in your glove because you trained it to because it chose to, is a pretty neat feeling to know you did it right. So we're going to try to fly a bird. I don't know how he'll do it here. The ceiling's kind of low, but we'll try. How about that? Just feeding mice. You want to know what I feed him? It's just mice. They're dead. Good question.
The bird doesn't like to sit on one hand. Another Jason has his bird on one hand. Cool. Now what that bird's doing is called mantle.
When it covers over like this, it's called mantling. It's a natural thing that God put in them. It's to hide their food from other predators. And you wouldn't believe it because we're in a colored room, but in the wild, when they land on game on the floor, on the grass, the wood floor, in the woods or in the grass in a field, they blend in so well. I'll tell you a real quick story while he's walking back over there. I was squirrel hunting with that red tail over there, and actually she caught a gray squirrel. It was a really nice afternoon. I thought, I'll just let her eat this squirrel. So I leashed her up, and I just sat down in the woods, and I was letting her eat her fill because she earned the squirrel. Well, I look up, and here comes a couple hiking through the woods, an older couple. I'm thinking, oh no. You know, and I didn't know if they were tree-hugging people or NRA people like myself. Wasn't sure. And so they walked up and wanted to talk to me, and so we chatted for about 10 minutes. They never saw the red tail. They never saw the bird sitting there eating the squirrel. The bird just kind of kept real still, would eat real slow. And I'm sure when they left me, they probably thought, why was that guy sitting? Maybe he was meditating. What was he doing sitting there? They blend in very well.
Now if that'd been that red tail, we don't do the red tail anymore, we used to. The red tail would fly down and it actually slap the top of your head with its wings. It doesn't bother you in a bit. This bird's a little more agile. In fact, if you watch this bird hunt, you've been to hunts, you ever watch a crow fly? This bird flies a lot like a crow, kind of all over the place. In fact, they kill a lot of crows. They're really good at taking crows. So, stay there, she's watching the small birds. Basically, three aspects to falconry. You've got to catch a bird, okay? You've got to train that bird, and then you get to hunt with that bird. He's going to try to catch